pronouns, everyone's name. Like y'all looking really special. I hope you're feeling good. Thank you for bearing with us too. Everybody feeling all right? You feeling good? You looking good. You looking kind of nervous, but you know what I'm saying? Nervousness just means that you care. So that's all right, Sugarfoot. That's okay, baby. I want y'all to know that we're gonna like big up the chat this whole time. We're gonna like do the spirit fingers and all of this jazz. We just want to make sure that everybody feeling good and that they're getting love and getting respect. So shall we kick us off with a poem? Is that okay? Can we do that? Oh, I don't see no emojis. I don't see no hands. I don't see nobody doing nothing. All right. Cool. So are we ready to get started? Yes. Okay.
Yes, we're all good.
Yeah. Always have a hard time writing about myself. It's easier to tell someone else's story, and I'm still trying to convince my shadow that it chose me for a reason. When I was a little girl, my first word was no. I bit people and stopped eating and talking at 10 p.m. I grew breasts before I knew what to do with them. See, I knew. There would be so many times I want to say yes and mean it. Biting gave me a head start at getting back at people. And since I asked so many questions, by 10 o'clock, I was exhausted. My breast reminded me that I was a part of some second-class citizenship in a world of dicks every time. Johnny Hart will pull my bra strap. I wish breast came with the receipt. Being a young woman is so hard. I'm the youngest of three, so people naturally love me. I'm awkward at accepting compliments. I get all embarrassed, my head, and the only thing I could think to come up with is thank you or thank you so much. Translation, I'm still learning how to love myself. I've had the same best friend since I started liking people. One time, when I was 12, I ate a whole gallon of ice cream. My mom had to straw feed me Sprite and pat me on the back until I burped. My mother can fix anything. Her dimples are where God's go to learn agape. I've downgraded to popcorn. The first boy I ever loved close enough to forever broke my heart. My favorite color used to be pink, until the same boy that was quicker than my innocence separated the purest parts of me I had left. So now I don't do favorites. But everyone who gets me deep turns red, I've been told. I'm an amazing kisser, and on a platonic level, I give really great hugs. I use all of my emotions during contact because I never know when I'll be touched again. And the OCD doesn't help. Always checking and rechecking, counting all my fingers in my head with my lips right now. In case you're wondering what number word we're on in this poem, 364 and counting. I have a stitched spine with a book of poems keeping me upright. There was a time when my parents loved each other for no other reason than to be the color Black. I've never met those people. I was the last thing they loved collectively. I know a father who loved music and a mother who cried like a whisper because her lover started treating her like the bass and the snare drum. When people ask why I love the way I do, I sound on nothing but the 808. I speak in clouds and concrete, Southern bred, Jamaican tongue, around the bullets in my throat, ready to go, but, the same little girl that blacks out when she gets angry is destroyer of all things. My arms be like family and the first thing that ever loved you back. And I know it sounds like I'm bipolar, but I'm not. Okay, maybe a little bit, but it's to be expected. You have heaven and hell in your veins. I speak in thunder and lightning, bring brass knuckles and fist fights. I knew heart when she met pain. A jungle of my tonsils, the same little girl that ran out of paper and started writing on walls when the night collapsed into my chest. Poetry saved my life. 610 and counting. I used to think I could change people by squinting my eyes. Now I just use my words and my side eye. I'm still learning how to love people for who they are because I know being transparent isn't easy. Trust me, I know. We feeling good, we feeling all right. Oh, let me see some of this. Let me see some emojis. Let me open the chat, see what's happening in the chat, friends. Okay, all right. You know, I got the whole team that's looking out for me. I appreciate you. So listen, we got a whole team of folks. Jocelyn is not here, so I want to make sure to take them off until they join, and we about to get started, so they might just have to sit it out, friends. But we have our bout manager, who is none other than Ashley Hayes, the beautiful Ashley Hayes. Can I get a whoop whoop? Let's see, Jared.
Hey, everybody.
Yes, Ashley, you always looking so divine. I mean, what is this?
I mean, I try to match your fly, but nothing can compare.
Yo, listen, I see you, sis. I see you, see me, and we seeing each other out here in these streets. Okay, we have 3 judges for you. We have Los Robeson. Can you go ahead and say something for the people?
How's everybody doing? I'm Carlos, aka Los. I'm coming at you from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Ooh, Charlotte, North Carolina. They used to have a song about that. Okay, let's see. And then we have Katie Kramer. Katie Kramer, where you at? Say something for the people, sugar.
Hey y'all, good evening. I am in Denver, Colorado. So excited to hear all your poems tonight.
Yeah, we are so excited to hear everyone's everything. Okay, and then we have who's the mastermind, the beautiful, the most talented behind all of this. We have none other than Carlos Andreas Gomez. Can we get a shout?
Yes, I'm cheering for all of you tonight. Carlos, Andres, aka Los, in another world, aka Carlos. I am cheering for every single one of you to have an 11-way tie and make this a nightmare for us. That is genuinely what I'm hoping for. Okay, good luck, have fun, cheering for you.
He don't mean that. So anyway, no, friends, we're not gonna be able to do it. Okay, we love all of you, but no. Okay, so we're curious. You're probably curious, like, what is this? Or you all know what it is. You still got some little nerves going on. This is America's Best College Poet, fall 2020 version. We're gonna come back in the spring. Then we're gonna hit you with the summertime. We don't know. We're just gonna be out here doing all kind of stuff. You never know. Just stay ready so you ain't gotta get ready, friends. Behind the scenes, we have Bass Schuler, which is also Soup Box Red. You know, that's like the gangster that nobody wanna see. You know what I'm saying?
The GOAT.
The GOAT. Yeah, the GOAT that nobody want to see, nobody want to hear from. Though we appreciate her dearly. So a lot of you, make sure that you keep your cameras on, make sure that you're filling in like all of the space, because this is going to be live streamed to a lot of different people. We're already live streamed, we're already live. So if you at home, I hope you're doing like a really nice twerk or a back body roll. You know, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know if your shoulders do stuff, or I don't know what it do, but I hope that you're doing all of those things in your homes. And we just want to make sure that we have a good time. So as our sacrificial poet, our calibration poet, we have none other than Katie Kramer. Yo, can we get some of these? Can we get some emojis? Drop them.
Well, last week may have been National Coming Out Week, but as any queer person knows, coming out does not fit into just a week. So in honor of that, since falling in love with my husband, I have received countless messages from people I mostly do not know, informing me of their disappointment in me for choosing the other side. They range in content from things like, whoa, didn't see that coming, to lengthy and heartfelt accounts of how I have really let them down, and almost everyone asks if I will stop writing poems since I'm no longer gay. What? I deleted the messages because my best self says that progress looks like not continuing to stab yourself with other people's ignorance, because my best self says that when I was 16, my girlfriend and I celebrated our 2-year anniversary, February 2nd, 2002, 02. We were certain that meant destiny. We got all the way fancy. I wore my Christmas dress, lied to my mom about what we were doing. Intrusive in fashion, we went to dinner at the Cheesecake Factory. My girlfriend literally said, don't even look at the price, just order anything. We held hands across the table and swooned like turtle doves, but the server took 30 minutes just to get our order. Everything came out wrong. We ate it anyway with our heads down. Finally, ordered the cheesecake, figured that at least had to be foolproof. But when it made its way to the table, there was undoubtedly saliva smeared across the plate and a hole the size of our server's finger shoved through its heart. We paid for it. Didn't say a thing. My best self says I don't care to count the amount of times a man has told me he'd like to knock the dike right out of me. Says show me my friends and our short haircuts and every road trip truck stop in the middle of nowhere. Show me how fast we would run. Says look closely at how hard my husband and I have to wait the decision to travel internationally to find if it is worth the risk of anything happening that would land his undressed body in a hospital. Our safety drastically shifting the moment they realize he is not quite what they think. My best self himself wants to know if that's gay enough, wants to know if I can still sit at the table even though the scars across his chest don't stand out loudly enough in photographs on social media to ensure that I still get an invite to the queer prom in the hearts of people who forget that the gender of the person anyone is dating is the last thing anyone else should worry about. Feeling like I need to out my husband as trans in order to save my spot at the gay parade is about as progressive as believing marriage equality was the end of the race. This is the happiest I have ever been. No, we do not look gay. Yeah, life is often me cooking dinner while he takes out the trash. We are not breaking a ton of gender binaries in our house, but the first time he met my conservative Catholic grandmother, who took years to come around to my sexuality, she quietly turned to my mom and asked if I was going through a phase of dating men. She didn't have a clue, and it was my favorite political thing she's ever said. Not every revolution is an earthquake with a shaved head. To the first handful of messages I received, my trigger fingers angrily responded with a lengthy dissertation on gender theory, but to all the rest, I wrote back simply, yes, I am so in love. Thank God you noticed.
Woo! That was Katie Kramer. Oh my gosh. Okay. It's hard out here, friends. It's hard out here, but that's why we have poetry to make everything better. Okay. So we have our judges doing the whole thing. We have the judges doing the whole thing. I'm gonna be in the chat. Look and see what they saying in the chat. Oh, some people are very moved by you, Katie. They are in love. Me too. Me too, Shaka. Me too. Katie is really hard not to love. Also, like, we can't be friends if you don't love Katie Kramer. I'm just saying. Okay. Anywho. All right. So, as everyone sent in their scores, someone tell us what our scores is. Now, first up, we have Tajashari Jadov. And then after that on deck, we have Amanda Gutensberger. So, are we ready? Are we ready to get started? Okay. I see some head claps. Can we get some claps in here? Okay, y'all a little nervous. It's all right, sugar. You got this. You got this. All right. Tajashari Jadov, come to the stage, darling.
Trigger warnings, mention of sexual assault, body shaming, and women's struggles you conveniently ignore. Dear women, dear girls, teenage, young ladies, old, anyone who identifies as a woman, dear whores, sluts, shameless and shamed, whose existence merely reduced to their bodies and faces, women who must always be claimed, made to live for others but never themselves, dear women. I feel you, if not understand completely your hardships when you say you got eyed today. That your skin looked at as flesh meant to be eaten raw or either covered with clothes. My sisters cannot wear what they want to because society's eyes are bigger than their brains, mouths bigger than hearts. We judge, we don't empathize. We laugh, but never listen to the cries. Woman, I feel you. When you say you were called aggressive, dominant, extra, but not someone who has a voice, stories to share, and an opinion to stand for. But I recognize you, and I think you're beautiful, but also intelligent, beautiful, but also brave, beautiful, but also strong, but also capable of doing shit. Woman, I feel you. When you say you were misunderstood for wanting it, I was too. As a 16-year-old traveling in a train with schoolmates, we women are given what we do not want, but denied what we have been asking for ages. Give women rights, give women respect, equal pay, give women the power you hold so dear to yourself. And most of all, give women space. Dear woman, occupy space. For men have, for too long, occupied not just spaces, but us. My sisters, whose voice is muffled by rapists, patriarchs, family members, whose voice is lost in unnecessary men chatter, lost in degrading jokes, sexist comments, judgments, and tags. My sisters rise together because we're told to hate each other, misogyny meant to run in our veins. Sister, when you next look into the mirror, tell yourself you're not too big or too small. You're so much more than the label society puts on your perfect breasts, perfect thighs, perfect legs. You're more than what you're reduced to. My sister, you have things to say, and the world has got to listen.
Wow, thank you. Tajashari, we see you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Our sacrificial poet, Katie Kramer, had a 28 even. So we're gonna have the judges send in their score for Tajashari. We already know what it is. It's just like, you know, the point is not the point. The point is the poetry, right? So we're gonna give it up for that poet. And next up, we have Amanda Gutensberger. And then on deck, we have Crystal. So go ahead and start clapping, making noise, doing your fingers spiritly, and your emojis all the way to the stage for Amanda Gutensberger.
She used to say, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. She used to play the piano until her fingers were numb, paint princesses on old baggy t-shirts for us to wear as pajamas, sing with a voice so powerful I could sense God starting to feel intimidated. Then she'd end the day with a waltz around the neighborhood until the sun melted into one of her t-shirt creations behind the cabbage field, and we'd laugh as we walked home together as a family. But those were her good days. On her bad days, singing switched to yelling. Dancing dissolved into fistfuls of pulled out hair. On her bad days, bedtime was before the sunset. The paint peeled off of our pajamas as we clutched the sheets to our nervously beating hearts, listened as she pounded a tune into the keys of the old piano in a vain attempt to drown out the sound of her own sobs. These were the days when hell grew closer, and the sticky, sour stench of cabbage permeated everything within a 10-mile radius, weighed down by the suffocating heat of a Modesto summer. Our minds were more numb than her fingers ever were, so I'd earnestly pray into my pillow every night, begging God to save her. But God was too intimidated by the echoes of her screams to save anyone. Then she'd apologize. I'd find notes the next morning on the nightstand or taped to the bedroom door. Notes about how she loved me, just not the things I did. She'd apologize for not being who I needed her to be, and in the end, I'd be the one feeling guilty. I'd feel guilty for expecting a home I could rest in, for confessing a truth that made her look bad. The garage was stuffed with dried tubes of paint by the time I turned 14. 1,000 pasty pastels that hadn't left the box since the last time she smiled. Arthritis stole her fingers, while age took back her voice, and God laughed as she pondered the idea of selling the old piano because he couldn't really be intimidated anymore. I looked away as she crumbled like an ancient t-shirt canvas because I didn't want the guilt to find me again. I looked away, I closed my eyes until I woke up somewhere else. Most of my days are good days now. I've got a box in my closet where I keep the apologies she never really meant. Every now and then she'll send another one, and I'll almost feel bad because I can see the future diminishing for her as it broadens for me. And despite the years of damage I endured at the hand of her viciously good intentions, I honestly don't want her to go to hell.
Wow, that was Amanda. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. Oh, I see some hands. I see some hands. I thank y'all. I thank y'all. Okay, that was a 25.1 for Tajashari. Okay, and we know that we have Cristado coming up next. And on deck, we have Ka. Cristado coming to the stage. Give it up, give it up. Cristado, you're muted, doll.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, everybody. I hope everybody having a good night tonight. I'm going by Cristado, and this is my poem, Growing Pains. Growing pains, forcing the red pill down my throat. My esophagus trying to reject it, but it knows it's too potent in knowledge just to push back up, but it knows it's going to hurt to push down. But that uncomfortable feeling comes with the understanding of life lessons that help explain life recessions. Growing pains are a blessing in disguise. Adversity behind me disguises situations, but really a pair of hands touching my back, pushing me back into reality, telling me that the show must go on, reminding me that this body and mind that I control is a vehicle that I use as transportation. transportation to the destination of who I'm destined to be. Realizing I wasn't born with the blueprint of life. So where do I begin to build? Collecting my mental pain and past traumas, trying to make a substance that over time will become hard enough for me to lay my foundation and build my character for the better. We have to accept the truth, knowing it's gonna hurt, but embracing it. That's how we put in a seed in the dirt and you can watch it grow. You don't know what tomorrow will bring, but swallowing that pill will beam a light on the purpose in life. Growing Pains, Cristado, thank you. I hope you have a good night.
Wow, thank you, Cristado. We appreciate you. That was a 23.5 for Amanda. All right, so coming up next, we have Cavu. We know on deck is none other than Megan Zaley. Y'all give it up for Cavu.
I am thousands of miles away from home, and the way that I feel the word home in my body is like the war my parents crawled through to get here. Home should be something worth defending. People like me in the home that I defend is not worth my sacrifice. People like me in the home that we defend are used to weaponize against other countries. We are used as pawns of war against subjects who look like terror. As if terror is not acts of war against people who seek refuge. As if terror is not war against your own people. As if terror is not invading indigenous, enslaving Africans, degrading the sacred land for gain. People will ask me what I am defending, and I say myself from you. From people who make decisions that kill people like me. I can say home, but feeling it is different. Home to my people is displacement. It means yearning for a country that does not exist. Reminds me that to return to means that when people tell me to go back to my country or ask me where I'm really from, it means the only home I know is the ground I was born on. The ground I was born on doesn't know the difference between immigrant and refugee. And how could they when the displacement of both immigrants and refugees has always been the cost of the United States bullshit? I call this place home more than it calls me its inhabitant, more than it holds and embraces me in its arms. I call it home despite its efforts to erase me, evict me, murder me. But when I see home, it is not a country. It is memories frozen in time. When I say home, it is his arms around me. It is the way my mom never says, I love you, but the way she puts food in front of my face and says, eat. It is the way Hmong women hold the entirety of the Hmong community on their shoulders, even when they are told they are traitors to their own people for pointing out its disrespect for our lives. It is memories of manger day as a meal. It is it is the way I look at youth as reflections of me, as the leaders we need, and it is the way I must learn to look at myself, if my body is a home. My dad says that my jupli is slightly detached from my body. It is detached in ways I wish my mind would leave on the bad days. My body should be a home for my soul, rid of traumas. But if my body is my home, it is haunted, and I refuse to vacate its ghosts. And as I dust off the rooms that I no longer visit, as I open the doors I've kept locked, as I get rid of the objects, the memories that no longer serve me, as I hold these traumas close, thank them for the lessons and let them go, I wonder if these ghosts disappear and I choose to vacate them, I wonder if my home will still be left standing, if I will still be left whole when they leave.
Wow, thank you, Cavu. That was great. Thank you so, so much. That was a 22.5 for Cristado. We know that Manina is on deck, which means we have Megan Zaley.
The boulder. I say, sometimes when I run, it feels like there's a boulder rolling in my chest, and as I go, it picks up speed, and my feet have to keep up enough to stop it from breaking through my ribs, through my skin, stop it from flying off down the shore like a beach ball in the wind. Sometimes when I see you, I want to run. I feel it bumping in there, scraping the bone from its marrow. I want so badly to run before it batters my lungs into a pulp and I can't breathe and I drown right there in front of you. I say, I went for a run today, 4 miles. You say, that's a long way. I say, yeah, I hit 7-minute pace the first mile, then 8, then 8:30, then 8 again. You say, I don't know what to say to that. You say, I'm rewatching Criminal Minds again. I say, I wish I could say something to you that grabs your attention like a thunder strike on a sunny day. I wish you knew what to say to me too. I wish I didn't feel like running away every time I see you. I wish I could stop almost breaking up with you. I wish I could break up with you in a way that wouldn't change anything. I wish you would kiss me so that I could be the one to pull away. But every time we kiss, it's because I kissed you and you decided you wanted to kiss me back, not that it matters. I say, what episode are you on? You say, the one where he drowns girls he thinks are Satan's wives, and if they don't die, he kills them with these poison dresses. You say, oh, cool. I say, ... You say, ... I say, there's a boulder in my chest when I run and I have to keep up with it. You say, oh, cool. I say, and sometimes I'm afraid it'll crack me open and go flying off down the beach, and I'll take a few more staggering, stumbling steps, then collapse with my shirt open and shreds falling off my shoulders. And my chest is a hole you could bury me in, and the blood is soaking the sand, and the sea foam is pink and flecked with it like a consumptive's bubbling spit. You say, I'm rewatching Criminal Minds. I say, oh, what episode? You say, the one where he kills women. I say, that's a good one. You say, ... I say, I love you. Because I call it love. Because love is hard all the time and a choice you have to make all the time and something you have to work for all the time. Because in my rib cage, something is rolling. Because what else could I even call it?
Wow, thank you, Megan. Okay, wow, that was Megan. And we know that Ka had a 25.2. Manina Dismuke is next, which means Joshua Moncure is on deck. Give it up for Manina.
My black is beautiful. We are made of luscious shades of brown. Light, brown, caramel, toffee, chocolate, tan, dark skins, all different shades. Black people beauty stands out in the crowd. People are amazed by our magnificent stamina. I am proud of my beautiful skin. I stand proud knowing that I'm a Black intelligent woman. I will not settle for less. I'm going to strive for the best. For over 200 years, we were being oppressed, but now they just want to have our Black men under arrest. Society is afraid of what our minds can do, so they want our Black men to play sports instead of staying in schools. They want our women to just cook, clean, and everything in between instead of doing our true passions. Corporations want to use us as their token. If you didn't get that, we're a chocolate chip in a sugar bowl. The crazy thing is that they use us, play us, slay us, betray us because they hate us and they will never okay us. Once they look up on this beautiful skin, they are in shock. They stand still if they are a rock. They stare and forget about their surroundings as if I'm the only one there. I strike jealousy into their heart every time that I'm seen because they know that I am a Black, beautiful queen. Society makes it seem as though we have to change our appearances to be successful. They will tell us all the time that in an interview to have your hair straight or slick back into a ponytail. And if you're going to wear a blazer, make sure it's long sleeve. And if you're going to wear a skirt, wear stockings. So the only skin they can see is on our face and our hands, but they want to be like us, so they go to a shop to get a tan. But in order for us to get a tan, we have to stand in the sun and let it shine up on us. They get injections in our bodies to have our shape, but I get my hips from my mother's DNA. And it's not our fault that our culture is so powerful. We are Black individuals. We have power. We don't have to say nothing. All we have to do is walk in a room with our smile and our strive and charge the atmosphere and keep hope alive. They don't want us to be proud of our Black heritage. They want us to just stop. They want us to just not do what we're supposed to do, but we should embrace it and show that our skin does not define who we are. Our God does. God created us to be just like him. We are God's epitome. In other words, it's mini-me. They want us to be at the bottom, but I'm striving for the top because the first shall be last and the last shall be first according to the God of the universe. I'm never going to stop. My name will be remembered. My skin will not be a target of indiscretion. I am a Black, beautiful woman that they are afraid of. Too bad I don't know how my pigmentation strikes fear through their veins. So once I find my opportunity and open the door and walk in, they're going to regret having a strong Black woman strive for the best because I'm going to win. My Black is beautiful.
Wow, thank you, Anina. Okay, that was a 25.6 for Megan. We have Joshua Moncure next, and on deck is Flora Payne. Y'all give it up for Joshua.
I've had approximately 36 cases of love at first sight, 22 unrequited crushes that spiraled into hopeless depression, 17 smiles I mistook for I do's and promises of honeymoons in Tahiti, and 4 girlfriends fluff my pillow with I love you. But you made me realize I had no idea what love was. What I thought butterflies, bleeding rainbows in my stomach, nothing more than moths and indigestion. What I was so convinced was pure bliss, nothing more than loneliness, no longer warming my sheets, instead snoring in the backseat of my car, waiting for my morning commute. They say that when you're with the right person, you just know. And I'm starting to think they might be right, because until I met you, I didn't know shit. I thought Cupid's aim just needed work because I loved from my head, my heart too busy beating back apprehensions like drums, delivering compliments so perfect that I cringe and deny their existence like people do the Holocaust, or women saying no. I thought loving and caring were identical twins until one reminded me that all lives matter, and now I think they have different mothers. I thought that when she told me I love you, we were playing Simon Says, that when she kissed me, she had lost her breath and needed help finding it, that when we made love, it was arts and crafts with a little bit of exercise thrown in. If we constantly have to make love, then at what point is love made? At what point is love ready to rest on the mantle beside my snow globes in the days I worried my appearance was too abrasive? Falling for you is like skydiving without a parachute and knowing that the landing will be the best part. You make me feel like an older, blacker Icarus. What his wings were really missing was melanin, the compound that lets the sun know you come in peace. So I bathe in the sun's backwash until I am so dark and so brittle. I come to you in pieces, a jigsaw puzzle you vowed wouldn't leave your desk until it was complete. You make me feel like I married masculinity too young. And now we share hugs that feel more like shoves, children that every day look more and more like my insecurities and trust in the form of a 30-year mortgage with no option to refinance. You make me feel like I wish my mother could. That's why when we go on dates, I mimic your every movement. Although you might not accept me right now, the one person you can truly never reject is yourself.
Wow, thank you, Joshua. Okay, so Menina had a 23.8, which means that Flora Payne is next, and our final poet in this first round will be Kylie Jorgensen. Give it up for Flora Payne.
This is to the me from 6 years ago. Trigger warning. Child, these hands that change your diapers, 12 years later, they're gripping tighter, moving on higher after you began to tire of asking, why are you here? Make no mistake, consent is your warden. You get to decide who explores your garden, so please say, stop, this is not what love looks like. No, that is not what yes sounds like. These hands will make you crumble, so take a second to disassemble the walls you built to protect yourself. The biggest danger here is yourself. This body's yours, not your creator's. Let people in, don't be your own traitor, so please start with, hey, not go away. You are not fine, you are not okay, and that's okay. I get it. It's easy. Lose your voice in solidarity with losing your mind out of necessity. It's easy to stop being, stop thinking, just stop. But child, when you're ready, I will teach you to talk. When you're ready, I will be who you need. I will unbury this undead voice from the graveyard of this unaborted body so no one has to grieve. Let me help you, please. I will teach you to scream. Overcompensation is not self-possession, but it is a form of self-expression. Child, When you're ready, I will teach you to say fuck you to anyone who refuses to take their cue to leave.
Wow, thank you, Flora. Oh my goodness, that was let's see, Joshua had a 24.3. Our final poet in this first round is Kylie Jorgensen. Y'all give it up for Kylie.
Jorgensen, but that's fine. All right. The women in my family are all thin. No, not in the physical meaning. Yes, I see you looking at my curves and double chin. I mean they stretch themselves like taffy until they're spider web thin, desperate to wrap arms around those in pain, to wipe away every child and partner's tears, the hurt until there's no more left in the household besides her own. We dislocate joints and break ribs to transform ourselves into whatever tool they need, saving our own tears for the moments alone, crying into a pint of frozen custard or a glass of wine like a lifeline, a band-aid on a crack in our foundations. My mother is a fixer. She pours love and understanding over disagreements like thick, viscous cough syrup, suppressing the you don't understands and the fuck yous until all that's left is long sips of another cocktail and a feeling that you're right even though no one actually said so. I sit here now, wishing to feel her voice wash over me, wishing that she could wrap her arms around me and take away the pain I feel inside, if only for a moment. I find myself longing for a love I know is deep, not deep like a well, deep like a root canal, not painful for the dentist who needs the paycheck, painful for the patient who rakes grooves into the declining the Novocaine until she passes out, not wanting to burden the assistant with the trouble. I long for a love that I so desperately need, but can never ask for, knowing the price she pays to give it, knowing I am next in line at the dentist, knowing I am just as thin.
Thank you, Kylie Jorgensen. Got it. Thank you so much. So I believe Flora had a 24.2. We're going to go ahead and get Kylie's score. Y'all just give it up for everybody that came through in this first round. Oh my gosh. Y'all made it really hard for our judges and I appreciate that. I'm so glad I don't have to be a judge tonight. So how it's gonna work is we're going to go from 9 to 7 to 5. So in this second round, we are going to have 7 that are gonna move on. We're waiting for our bout manager. Hopefully you all will show up next week when we have finals. So Kylie's score was a 23.7, for Kylie. So next week it'll be finals and it'll be same time and all that kind of jazz. And you'll get to see people from the first bout and they're all be competing with people from the second bout. So it'll just be one big ass bout. You know what I'm talking about? Okay. Anyways, but the other part about it is that I know that a lot of you have favorites. You can get a new one, sugar. Look at that. It's the gift that keeps on giving. You're welcome. Okay. Let's see. Ashley, can you give us something, doll? Come on here then. The people want it.
Nope, I'm working the order. I can't give you who we have to say goodbye to. I want to say that everybody did an awesome job this round. We're so excited you made it to a semifinal bout of America's Best College Poet. You have a wonderful host, Ebony Stewart, and some brilliant judges. But unfortunately, we do have to say goodbye to Amanda and Christottle. You all did wonderful work that you should be extremely proud of. And I am working on the order for the next round. If I could have about a Jeopardy interlude, I will have that for you.
Oh, a Jeopardy interlude. I'm here for that. Okay. All right. Well, we can just actually talk about maybe Christottle and who was the other person? Christottle and Amanda. Oh, okay. So let's just see. First of all, let me just make sure that Christottle and Amanda and everyone know that this is just a competition. And any other day, this thing might be different, right? But none of this has anything to do with your worth, right? Your poems are still very good, still very valid. And I hope that you still will come back and also continue to do poetry because you know what? You're healing yourself and you're healing others in the moment. And we really just appreciate that, right? So yeah, everybody can go next. Everybody can't make it to the final round or whatever. But I hope that if nothing else you got out of this is that you took a chance, you were brave and you did it. You were super vulnerable and you did it because that's really hard. Let me tell you something, writing poetry is not It's not an easy skill, friends. It's not an easy thing, right? So we have Los in the chat saying the points are the point. The points is the poetry. Thank you. Yes, that's exactly right. So while Ashley, just in.
Yes. So we are going to take the person with the lowest score from the first round will go first. Highest score will go last. You will hear from, in this order, Kylie, Menina, Flora, Joshua, Tajashari, Cobb, and Megan. And I'm going to send you this order, Ebony, but Kylie is next and Menina's on deck.
All right. Ooh, okay. So as we get started, I want to just make sure everybody still goes back to the chat, still get us feeling good and nice. We had a lot of oohs and wows and yes, sis, you know what I mean? And also I feel like sis is universal, friends. I don't know, just me. So you feel free to use it however you choose, whatever you can say to make people feel good. On deck, we have Menina, but right out the gate, we have Kylie Jorgensen. Give it up, give it up.
Growing up, I was the smart girl, the can you be my partner for the project girl, the I know you'll do all the work, so I won't bother with me girl, the I want to get to know you better girl. They wanted my number, sure, but for test prep, not movie night. I wasn't the girl you call to party with. I was the girl you call when your essays due at midnight, but it's 10 p.m. and you haven't started it yet. I wasn't a person, I was a database. Someone who had an answer for everything, even when it was bullshit. Teachers sensed my ambition, my dedication to my work, my unyielding passion behind every last essay, PowerPoint, and lab report I signed my name on. I am so tired of being the smart pass girl. The I expected more from you girl. The how can you say no girl? Can I just be allowed to create work I am proud of? To not have to share the spotlight with folks who never bothered to open my email, to not have to pretend for even a second that I'm happy to take on everything because I'm the smart girl. How dare I, with my boobs and my estrogen, want to preserve my mental energy, save my love for learning for myself? Why is the expectation I must be complicit in this extortionate bullshit? I am the smart girl, but my brain is not for you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Kylie. We appreciate you so very much. On deck, we have Flora Payne, but coming up right now, we have Menina Dismuke.
Let's play a game. Let's start off slow so you know how I flow. We taking it back to the old days. Round one, we playing Monopoly. I roll the dice first so you can catch my drift. You go next, you land on chance. Is it a hit or is it a miss? It says collect $200 or do you want to have my heart? You better pick quickly and choose something smart. I'm gonna lead and I left you in my dust. Next round, sir, you better learn how to adjust. Now it's round two and we gonna play spades. I hope you understand that this is my crusade. You go first so I can see how you play your hand. You're my partner in this game, so I need to know where you stand. You playing it cool and smart, so I'm gonna just do my part. We're neck and neck because of our minds, so I'm going to put down a dime. Man, I hope you catch my means, and you do, so I put down my heart so I can show you that I'm the queen. And you cut me with the ace of spades, but I guess that's just how the game is played. The win was not denied, but just a little delayed. Let's switch it up. Last round, let's hop on the game. What do you say? Just so you know, I'm finna make you my prey. We can play Madden or 2K. Which one do you prefer? We can play Madden. I can show you my display, or we can play 2K, loving basketball, so I can sway you my way. I go hard when I'm on the game. It's no joke. It's all me. So once you do this, you're gonna want to stay. I push X quickly to do a regular pass. Then I hit triangle to do my overpass. Behind the three-point line, I hit square and make the shot. Now look at you all in shock. Because I left you astray? It's okay. Sit back down and watch the replay. At the end of this game, win or lose, you still going to be bad. Come on now. You look tired. Is it because you took the bait? Whole time I was playing chess. Checkmate.
Thank you so much, Menina. Okay, so Kylie had a 24.1 on deck. We have Joshua Moncure coming up next. We have Flora Payne.
I consider myself to be a pretty lucky person. I mean, sure, my brain thinks serotonin comes store-bought, and yeah, I'm in pain more often than not, but by some random stroke of genius, my soul found its mate before I even knew what it meant to date. Everything we did together, so I didn't notice we became one and the other. She was the one, the perfect one. Once I set my room on fire because I wanted my lungs to admire my brain's desire to give the fuck up. I welcomed the warmth, hoping someone would mourn, but for her, the window opened. The same words that flow unimpeded from my fingertips mangle themselves on the threshold of my lips, but for her, they come out broken and smoking, choking with emotion, but at least spoken. From reluctance to hesitation, hesitation to a whirlpool of words whispered in the haven of her patience. Those words formed a shield not between us, but between us and the rest of the world. She is the one who can make everything right, even when there is so little left of me. Mentally ill is what I am. There is nothing to recover. The nothingness that sends me spiraling is still here constantly, but honestly, she makes me think I could become a mother. Mentally ill is what I am, I guess, but I must confess, for the first time in a long time, I can fall asleep at night. Because of her, my silver's now white, white like hospital walls, white like the fresh page of a new journal, white like the light at the end of my tunnel. And now when that light starts to fade, the number I call belongs to someone who knows my name.
Thank you so much, Flora. Just to say, I got a little excited. So we only gonna take the top 5 from this actual bout, just so you know, into finals. Menina had a 23.6. We have Joshua coming up and Tajashari on deck. Joshua, give it up for Joshua.
When you're one of 3 Black kids in a class of 200, people have certain expectations. And if there was anything my little Black ass loved to do, it was hide those expectations in the wild, nappy hair I was determined to tame with only a brush like the white kids. So when I was finally old enough to have friends that listened to rap music, I got as far away from that shit as I could. I told them that even though I had never played an instrument, I was really into classical music, that Lil Wayne may be making the streets hot, but my man Tchaikovsky had Moscow Wheezy before the mustard gas, that Soulja Boy may have had a #1 hit at 16, but Mozart cranked that first full opera out at age 11, that Jay-Z may have had to flip packs for racks during his bumpy ride to the top. Beethoven was so deaf he could only hear vibrations, so in a way, his music is the original vibe. I put so much distance between myself and the OGs that every lunchtime top 5 rapper debate became, oh please, and I'd get on a roll like a whole cheese, tell my friends to chill like a cold breeze, get above my high horse like I OD'd and tell them Tupac's cool and all, but Bach had the best bars low key. In a school of white fish, I was so scared of being called out as an intruder. I never realized the whole time I was a barracuda, so afraid of being chained up like my ancestors that I forgot the food chain, forgot my melanin could do things, that the real hero in the night was Harriet Tubman, not Bruce Wayne. Let me tell you how I could sing. Like Diana Ross when I hit a note, a whiz when it came to my voice, but I had to ease on down the road because my choir teacher thought every show I should be the one spitting in it, and deep down I knew it was all because I was the spitting image. I hated rap. Really all Black music, to be more specific. Even before our family vacation to Jamaica, my 7th grade science teacher looked at me like I shot the sheriff, a cop killing Buffalo soldier with an African-sized chip on his shoulder, too ashamed to get up, stand up, or sing his redemption song. I hated Black music. Really Blackness, to be more specific. The way my grandmama cooked me collard greens instead of spinach, the way they asked me how my Kwanzaa went instead of Christmas, the way anytime someone lost a pencil, their eyes screamed, I did it. I hated who I was born. I thought my skin was God teaching me a lesson. I studied English and Spanish, but was most fluent in microaggression, so afraid of being perceived a threat. I tried to ignore my weapon until I flipped the safety off and finally fired my expression. I'm Black. You can tell by the shimmer of my skin or the way my words converge upon the guilt you hold within. I'm Black. You can tell by the timbre of my voice or the fact that you think calling the police could be a choice. I'm Black. You can tell by the tensing of your spine or the way you have to work to keep from flinching at each line. I'm Black, and I can rap. It's a truth I can't deny. For so long my tongue was tied, but boy, I finally feel alive.
Thank you so much, Joshua. Thank you so much. We have a 23.7 for Flora. We have Tajashari next and Cavu on deck. Give it up for Tajashari.
The story of my life begins before I saw the light of the day on December 4, 2001, Tuesday. It begins before I was even conceived, when they were planning me and wanted me to have a penis. To their disappointment, I did not. The story of my life begins when my mother had to fight to not get me aborted, because who would want a consecutive third daughter born in the family when sons rule the world anyways? To their disappointment, I am alive today. My mother, breathed life into me 18 years ago, and I cherish it. Every single day of the life I have won because far too many of India's daughters haven't made it this far. Killed before their tiny eyes could even see the unequal colors of the world. Killed before they could breathe the unjust air of my country. Escaped. Little birds. Female feticide is not history, you see. Vaginas are goddesses. Vaginas are meant to be respected. Vaginas bear the weight of this world, yet one cannot give birth to another. For who wants daughters anyways? Burden, as we're rightly called, on families, which will take pride in their sons but not in their daughters. The story of my life, though, is one of pride and growth. And I'm glad it even took shape of a story, for far too many stories were never allowed to be written, never spoken. Some never began. The fact that I speak here is not a miracle, no luck, but neither is this a self-advertising grant. I've come too far from where I started. I've come too far from a malfunctioning school 10 minutes away from my house to a liberal arts college 12.5 hours away from my home. I've come too far, and it took me 18 years. It took me 18 years for my father to be proud of me, for my relatives to even acknowledge that I exist, for my mother to say, Teju, you're here because I fought for your life. It took me 18 years to prove that my life as a girl is worthwhile living. It took me 18 years to be able to stand up here and speak my heart out and tell you my story. And the story of this life continues.
Thank you, Tajashari. Thank you so much. We had a 27.3 for Joshua. Cavu is next, and Megan Zaley is closing us out. Y'all give it up for Cavu.
When they ask me what I am, I will tell them that I am among women, unwavered by echoes of not all men and bitches like you are the reason our culture is dying. When they ask me why I am the way I am, I'll tell them my mother's trauma is hereditary, that her mother's trauma is hereditary. My mother's name is Cha, it means bridge, but don't confuse that with her existence, because the women in my life did not make their backs bridges for men, they did it for each other. When they ask me who I am, I tell them my parents didn't raise a follower, that I raised myself to be more than my parents' traumas and to be worth my parents' sacrifices. When they ask me where I am and where I'm from, I will tell them I am from here and that my people would still be in our home country if the United States just minded their own fucking business, and that my people did not crawl through wars and bombs and bury their people just to be deported back to a country that has only ever showed them an embrace that crushes their existence. When they ask me when I am, I say right now, because we need you right now, and that I am no longer dwelling on past actions, past mistakes, and that I have grown to be more than the violence done to me. And when they ask me why I am, I will ask them, why the fuck not? And when they ask me who I really am, and they mean it in a way that is not trauma porn or pity, I will tell them To this day, I still ask myself if I am worthy of happiness in my community's eyes when they deny me the ability to be my authentic self, deny me the ability to speak, deny me the ability to love whomever I choose. To this day, I still ask myself if my voice will finally be clear enough to hear when a man claims me as his own. And to this day, I think I'm better at explaining the colors of the sky right before I break, better than I can recite the soldier's creed. When they ask me who I am, I will ask them to take a look around at the people I surround myself with, at the people who hold up my sky when it is falling. I will ask them to take a look at what type of people hold up the world for one another just so we can take a breath. I will ask them if they know what it means to be the daughters that our parents never wished for, to be the daughters our communities may have never wanted, but to be the ones they now need the most. Some people will never know the way skies bend and hearts ache right before a revolution breaks.
Thank you, Ka. Thank you so much. We had a 27.2 for Tajashari, and last up we have Megan Zaley. Give it up for Megan Zaley.
All right. Allegory of the cave. The cave cried too. In the dark, it thought I wouldn't see, but I did, the thin lines of clarity cutting through a muddy rock face. In Plato's cave, there was light. There were shadows on the wall to see, but in the infinite black, the word shadow has no meaning. It would be less lonely with just a single shaft of light. Then at least I would have my shadow for company. I cried and the cave cried too. It screeched and rumbled through things, broke things, or I did, and it echoed me back to myself. As I screamed into the dark, I saw myself clearer than in any perfect light. My image projected back to myself from all sides. Echo, oh, oh. Are you there, there, there? Who are you, you, you? I stopped then. Only a narcissist talks to an echo. If I'm the only person alive, the word narcissist loses its meaning like a shadow in the night. What is a narcissist when there is no one left to be superior to? How many words lose their meaning here, alone in the dark? The dark ate at me and I ate at the dark, meaning I ate nothing and the dark tore chunks of me away. I couldn't see my hands. I cried and the cave cried, and the water that trickled down my chin tasted clean and cold. I fell asleep with my eyes open into a night so total they may as well have been shut. My stomach growled, or the cave did. It doesn't matter which. The shifting when I awoke sounded new. I'd grown used to the way the earth settled into itself like a dog into its bed, and this sounded different than settling, more like a shoulder dislocating or an ankle twisting, a knee yanked suddenly out of its track. The stagnant air began to swirl around my calves as if I stood in slow water. I called out, "Is anybody there? 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 I'm trapped here, here. Can you hear me? Hear me? Hear you? I hear you, we're coming, you're safe, safe. The air curling around my ankles quickened and the creek turned white water rushing. The cave cried and I cried too, I could feel it. Wind flying past, ruffling my long dirty hair off of my forehead like someone was running towards me, displacing the air in their wake, colliding with me, into me. A light like all this time, it wasn't rocks above, but only clouds pulling away from their eclipse, and then a beam of light sifting through. And in that perfect light, I saw the cave cried, and I was wrong. Nothing changed, but trapped in an infinite night, I can't be blamed for dreaming. Thank you.
Thank you, Megan. Thank you so much. We had a 26.2 for Ka. We're going to let the judges send in their scores for Megan. Y'all, thank you so much. This has been like really good. Yeah, give it up for yourselves. Can we just have a moment to like give it up for yourselves? I don't know. I just want to see all of this. Yeah, okay. And I appreciate you all bigging each other up in the chat. That's very, very important and very good sportsmanship. You know, because the thing is that, yeah, like this is a competition, but also we want to have a good time because like we came to listen to poetry, like we're poets. So you know, words and stuff. Anywho, next week we will be having breaking news. We have a 26 for Megan, a 26 for Megan. Next week will be finals. We're going to see who out of this group is going to take the 5 over into finals for next week. It's going to be the same time, same place, you know, in the Zoomiverse and whatever. And we hope that you all will definitely show up. So Ashley, I know you over there working. I see your face. You getting this, sis. Get it, do the number thing. Oh my gosh, I'm glad it's you. Yeah, so while that's happening, does anyone want to say anything? Our judges, do you have anything to say? Next week actually will be hosted by Carlos Andreas Gomez. So you in for a treat. Just show up just for that. Period. Okay. Judges, anything?
I would love to say I thought everybody was amazing tonight. Totally different than last week, which is a beautiful thing. And I know that next week is going to be just crazy. So thank you, everybody who participated. I thought this was like a knockout. Everybody was a knockout.
I want to echo what Lo said too. I thought everyone had such distinct voices. I thought folks were so vulnerable, and you told us about yourselves. There were so many distinct voices. Each of these, this semifinal and last one, were so different. It was beautiful. I was so inspired, and you made our job a nightmare, which means you're doing the right thing. So thank you for trusting us with your poems and letting me listen.
Now I feel like I need to say something the other two did, but mostly I'm just watching Ashley's face make faces while she's doing math and enjoying that. Y'all, this is so awesome. I can't tell you, I am sure that the rest of us on here, Ebony, Carlos, Ashley, Carlos, would agree it's getting to do art for a living is amazing, and listening to yourself talk over and over and over again can be really exhausting. So it's such a huge gift to get to hear all of you read poems and hear your art. So I can't tell you how grateful I am for a night of getting to listen to you all. So thank you so much for that.
All right, we have the scores in, people. Ashley, our voice of goddess, can you give it to us right now?
Yes, yes, yes. Echoing what everybody said. Amazing job, everyone. The unfortunate thing is that we do have to say goodbye to 2 people. And those 2 people who put on an amazing performance are Kylie and Manina with a 47.8 and a 47.4. But we always applaud the poets and not the scores. And so advancing to finals, we have in 4th place, and I'll explain that later, Flora with a 47.9. In 3rd place, we have Ka with a 51.4. We have a 2-way tie for 2nd place with a 51.6, Joshua and Megan. And in 1st place with a grand total of 52.3, we have Tajashari. We applaud all of the poets and all of the scores. And I'm looking forward to seeing y'all at finals.
Yeah, amazing job, everyone. Thank you so much. We can't wait to see you next week. Thank y'all.
Ebony's an amazing host. I agree. Thank you, Ebony. Thank you, Ashley, for
Ebony.
Thank you, Ebony, the hostess with the mostest. Thank you to my judges for working hard. Y'all have a great weekend, great week.
Bye.
This is amazing. Thank you.